Today we are talking about probably the decisive matches for Premier League title this year. And as we have seen, best Manchester United can do against Arsenal is a respectable defeat. Manchester United could not end the intrigue in the Premier League title race or help their neighbors. 1-0 defeat to Arsenal, and the main surprise was the hosts didn't fall apart of Old Trafford. Despite their terrible form, the central defender pairing Casemiro and Evans, numerous injuries, and bench full of youngsters, they managed a respectable defeat in every sense. It's not a result that will cheer up fans, and the situation remains awful, but it won't plunge them into despair either. United surpassed Arsenal in several metrics, and besides numerous statistical parameters, were United better, like possession, shoot, territory. The defeat was also respectable when considering the lineups. During the week, Lisandro Martinez, Bruno Fernandes, and Marcus Rashford returned, but none of them made even into the bench. And the experienced players on the bench were only Anthony and Christian Eriksen. Compare with Arsenal, who fielded their strongest lineup and had everyone available. United unexpectedly won possession, majorly thanks to Nordin Amrabat old school role. In the end, United ended up with 55 percentage. One reason was the scoreline, which suited Arsenal from the 20th minutes, obviously, but Manchester United managed long spells of possession even at nil-nil, sometimes pinning the visitors in their half and launching wave after wave of attacks. Sky graphics from the middle of the first half are indicative, and in the first 5 minute segment, United had 84% of possession. Arsenal is a rare top team that is 100% comfortable without the ball. They proved it again this time, and they did not allow a single clear chance near their goal. They only failed to block one shot from inside the box in the 76th minute. Losing the possession battle is no crime for them. However, Ten Hag's ideas also influenced the game, where United, unusually for such a lineup, had so much possession. The most distinct was Sofian Abramat dropping to form back three and the start of attacks. Uh, this move, called La Salida, is named after its creator, Argentinian coach Ricardo Lavople. La Salida Lavopiana. Recently, this tactic is rarely used. Top teams typically form a back three automatically due to normal passing, good passing central defenders. And Ten Hag decided not to involve the fullbacks and assigned the role to the defensive midfielder Amrabat. He could drop between the defenders or from the back three on the flank, both. Amrabat constant drops created a numeral advantage against Havertz and Edegaard, who initiated Arsenal's pressing, and someone from United's trio got freedom and advanced the ball. It wasn't a problem for the visitors. They could drop to their half and meet the opponent in mid and low block, as we've mentioned. It's an okay role for Arsenal, but it certainly affected possession. Arsenal's winning goal came from a United error, and that was a personal error from probably the most experienced and from with no other words legendary person in this squad. That's ironically, and that's probably the lack of concentration for Casemiro, coordination him with other central defenders, because that's a build-up mistake, and Casemiro is not a central defender. He wanted to play short, but Anana, lacking other options, played long. In the end, Casemiro didn't get out in the time and botched the offside trap. Kai Havertz subtle the role in the goal is worth nothing, and the German blocked the passing line to Casemiro, leaving Onana. No choice, it's too clear, too long. The problem was that Casemiro not only broke this trope, but the problem was how lazily he was. He was getting back. He did not even try to block the pass to Leandro Trossard in the final stage of this attack. And as for me, that says that Casemiro is too tired mentally. He's not expected to play next season for United. That's my forecast. United attack focused on Garnacho's flank, and that was another Ten Hag's ideas. That was to heavily load Garnacho's flank. 84% of United attack went through the left side, and a huge share by any standard. And the host's passing map clearly shows it. All roads led to the Argentine, and choosing Garnacho's flank was logical. In this kind of lineup on the right, where the cautious are on Wan-Bissaka and Amad Diallo, who prefers to cut inside. On the left, alongside Garnacho, was Diogo Dalot, who loves to overlap despite being a defender and despite working with his weaker foot on basically a position that belongs to Luke Shaw, as I think in normal lineup. To exploit Garnacho's, or maybe Malasia, yeah, also could be. To exploit Alejandro's qualities, Manchester United tried three major approaches: created isolations for one-on-one duels with Ben White, combinations between Garnacho and Dalot, and overloading the flank with Kobe Mainu and Scott McTominay joining Garnacho and Dalot. Garnacho embodied the plan and was incredibly active. He ended the game with 7 shots. That's more than any teammates, and none who managed. There was no one who managed more than one. Garnacho succeeded in beating Ben White one-on-one, but lacked diversity in the play. And after passing Ben White, Arsenal has probably the best central defenders pair in the world right now. And despite 7 shots, he made just one pass leading to a shoot, a backwards pass from inside the box. United also lack the ideas and execution inside the box. The lack of ideas became evident when Garnacho opted to cross rather than shoot. It wasn't entirely his fault that the crosses didn't reach teammates, because he's good at crossing. But during the match, Gary Neville noted that both Rasmus Højlund and McTominay were making runs to the same spot all the time. And credit also goes to the visitors when Raya came out and Gabriel and Saliba, aided by defensive midfielders, handled aerial threats extremely effective way. Here is a characteristic crossing map from the hosts, and they attempted 16 crosses, but only one reached the target. In the second half, Erik Ten Hag tried to diversify the attack with substitutions, and Anthony came on the right flank and later played as a left back in this game. Christian Eriksen became a central figure during prolonged possession. Casemiro tried to push into the box, and none of this worked. Even United's defense managed to hold Arsenal at bay to an extent. Despite pressing flows throughout the season, there were surprisingly few gaps between the line this time, and with some meme-worthy expectations in the first half. Most of the time, the pressing was compact and coordinated, and it wasn't the most intensive, but forced Arsenal to make mistakes. And Johnny Evans' role in compact pressing was quite surprising. The player had a crucial role in maintaining that compactness by stepping up to Kai Havertz when necessary. Despite his age and the risk he supposed to press effectively, and when forced to clear, Evans often won aerial duels against Havertz, not joining the press but encouraging it. Arsenal, comfortable with the scoreline, could afford to avoid risk, but they typically dominate after gaining an advantage, and this time they couldn't. United's pressing and set piece defense were a major factor for that. Also, we have to admit that Arsenal set pieces that are a global threat this season were ineffective in this game, and Nicolas Jovier, who's responsible for Arsenal set pieces, stuck to their unusual tactics on corners here. Movement on to the far post followed by a surge to the near post. Neville criticized this approach, given Arsenal's physical advantage suggestion and giving a suggestion that they should have exploited United weaknesses instead. Arsenal finished the match with 11 shots. That's not a failure, but below their usual standards. Only against Tottenham and City they have managed fewer shots in the Premier League this season. Saliba and Gabriel, they are probably the best center back pair in the world right now. This was Arsenal's fifth 1 0 win of the season. The previous four were in the first half when attacking struggles meant relying on defense. And this visit to Old Trafford was a real instance post Dubai where defense had to step up again. And it did not disappoint. Saliba and Gabriel stood out, showing that they are more than just supplementary players, but the key part of the foundation. Saliba supported, and Gabriel won nearly all the duels he had. Saliba's main task was to support wide against Garnacho and the whole flank we've described previously, and he managed to operate that extremely well. Saliba often covered for White and provided help exactly when needed. And an elegant example of Saliba support is right now in front of you. Gabriel frequently faced Højlund and handling him both in and outside the box, and notable moments included Saliba assisting White and then returning to support Gabriel in duel with Højlund. Unbelievable quality. Is the defense winning titles? We'll see. For Arsenal, defense has won enough crucial matches to bring them close to the title, and Opta gives them 41.3 percentage, higher than at any other stage of the season. And in conclusion, well, even though Manchester United was really good that match, North London side is so much better, clearly, by far.